So about 2 years ago, I was deep in my healing girl era. I've never heard that term before. Journaling, crystals, moon water, the works. My ex had just dumped me because, and I quote, I was too intense about vibes. This is great already. Naturally, I decided to manifest him back. I wrote his name on a bay leaf. TikTok told me to do it. Lit a candle and whispered affirmations like some sort of love witch. The next day, I kid you not, I got a text from an unknown number that said, "Hi sweetheart, it's Daniel's mum." I don't know if we should use people's real names, but "You left your hoodie here, you want me to post it?" I took that as a sign from the universe, so I responded super confident, "Yes, maybe Daniel and I can catch up when I pick it up." Winky face, stars emoji. She replied, "Oh no, love, he moved in with his new girlfriend. I just didn't want to throw your jumper away." I stared at the text, bay leaf ashes still on my desk, and realised the universe wasn't sending me Daniel. It was sending me closure. Wow. That's beautifully put together there. And that's from Susan from Australia. Listener in Australia there. That's great. And a quintessential example there of what this podcast is all about. Welcome back to another episode of Stop Watering Dead Flowers. Stop watering dead flowers. I'm delighted to say that this week's guest is not only a very talented man, but a good old pal of mine now as well.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Conor Reilly.
I actually can't remember how we met, but it's just...
I actually can.
Okay.
Which is bizarre because it was such a weird thing. But as a quick way of introduction, I should say, you know, you're kind of, you do a bit of everything really. Kind of filmmaker, documentaries and, you know, cinematography. You've directed sitcoms. You've been involved with, I don't know, writing amazing sketches, producing your own work. And there probably isn't a comedian or sketch performer in Scotland that hasn't worked with you now because you've been involved in so many people's sketches.
I feel very comedy adjacent.
Yeah.
So I just kind of know I'm very kind of jack of all trades sort of situation.
But you know, I met you as before we delve into the actual podcast. This is very random. It was very long ago, and I don't think you would mind me mentioning his name. But Jim Law.
Is that who
was
we
a
met?
mutual friend of ours,
Yeah.
but we'd never met. But he was starting up his app, so there you go. We plug for his. I don't know if that's still going. Find a Player app.
Yes.
If you're struggling for a player, 5 sides, there you go. We plug Jim, and
you'll love that as well.
He was
advertising.
He was filming a promo for it.
Yeah.
And I was going to be the guy in the promo, and you were the guy that he had filming it.
Right.
And at the end of it, you were like, "Oh, by the way, if you ever need some help for you know, self-tape editions or anything like that." And so that was it.
That's a beautiful story. I only met Jim in the pub as well.
Is that right?
These things, they just happen, you know.
But you're and even over since we've worked together, and I've seen this in action. You are the definition of a social butterfly. Like, you will start a conversation with anyone. I think that's why you said as well that you've done a lot of proper documentaries, and like the one that springs to mind is like when you did the Flat Earthers one.
Yeah.
You've said people just tell me stuff. Like, you've got a very likable.
I think it's my
being
size.
aura.
Right. I think I'm so non-threatening.
If you're not watching this, Connor's 3'6".
Yeah, very small, a very small package.
Yeah.
And I think people are disarmed by that. They think, "Oh, this guy, he's not threatening to me," and then they just divulge stuff that, that you wouldn't think about telling a stranger otherwise.
You'd be a great jockey.
I think that. I think I definitely missed a career as a jockey or a gymnast or something like that. It's sad, yeah. But filmmaking seems to have worked for me so far. So
it's great. Well, then the other thing, just as a wee aside for anyone that's curious, I don't know, sometimes people like to see behind the magic of showbiz.
Yeah.
But Conor is also the person that has filmed, I would say just about every single Duncan and Judy Murray sketch that's ever been made as well, which is really half the battle for someone to film it well, edit it well. So Conor's really the mega mind behind putting that together as well, which was great.
You probably heard the saw there. Did you get that?
At the mention of Duncan and Judy, like Judy's going to burst in here and chop Duncan's head off.
I remembered shooting that and how weirdly nervous we all were on the way up.
Meeting her for the first time. Yeah. I was terrified. I'm still kind of terrified when I meet her.
The second one was so different because I think she liked the first edit so much.
She knew she was in safe hands, and she was like, they're not making me look bad. She
also, I mean, it was very hard to film because she laughed through all of her lines.
That's, of all the videos we've done, my favourite video is the outtakes video.
Yeah. Did you put it out eventually? Yeah. Great.
Anyway, so that's how we know each other.
Yes.
That's the type of stuff and work that we've done. However, let me ask you this as I ask everyone. Are you someone that can generally let things go quite well, or are you someone that holds on to and festers over things that have happened in your past? Because you said even before we came on, you struggle to remember some of them, you know. So
I've got a really bad memory, so that's the first challenge.
That's quite helpful, I suppose, for letting go of things.
But no, I think I definitely hold on to things. Right. You know, if it comes to me at night, I can feel physical pain from something. And then I can forget it again. It's gone for another couple of years, and then it's back.
It creeps back up.
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because being on this, I had to go through all of these things. So I spent 2 days brainstorming awful things that I'd done or embarrassing moments. And the list was much longer than I anticipated it would be.
Perfect.
Actually deciding which ones I was going to say was challenging, which probably says a lot about me. But,
well, listen, we always like to start with the childhood one and build from there. So if you were able to pick one out from that, that's great.
Well, I didn't. I thought of this at 4 a.m. last night. It just woke up and it came to me.
This is beautiful.
It's not even necessarily that embarrassing, but it's just so weird.
Yeah.
I can't believe it happened.
I keep trying to tell people they don't have to be like embarrassing or regrets even. It's just stuff that you cannot stop thinking about every so often.
Yeah, as soon as it came into my brain, I was like, that is mental. So I was in Ayr for the weekend. I'd been invited to stay with my friend's gran and him. He was there too. Right. It would have been weird if he wasn't. It's really awkward, me and her. So we're walking through Ayr town centre.
Okay.
And we somehow ended up either side of the road from each other. And we're walking, and he stops and hides behind a phone box. Right? And I, for a second, think I've lost my pal.
Yeah.
And he pops out. And he's got me 1-0 Ben, and I think, right, that's fine, I'm going to get him back.
Right.
A bus starts coming down the road, and I decide it'd be really cool if I run along beside the bus at the same speed as the bus, so that when the bus flies past, I disappear like a secret agent.
Oh, Jason Bourne it.
Which would have been, really cool if it worked out that way. The bus comes past, I just take off sprinting down the road, right? And it's worked at first. And I just run as fast as I possibly can into the back of a farm foods truck. Just like absolutely top speed, head like right into the metal, bang, smack the farm foods truck. My vision goes starry. I take a step back. I'm so embarrassed because there's just people everywhere that I start laughing hysterically. And then I fainted. just bang, starry vision, and then I faint, hit the ground. Right,
this is perfect.
Just imagine standing on the road, right, and you just see a wee boy walking normally,
suddenly
take
sprinting,
off, right, about 13 years old, wee boy, take off, run straight into the back of a parked van, and then faint.
Wow.
So I was lying there, and the staff of the farm foods came out.
I bet. They
picked me up and they lay me down on the conveyor belt in the shop. And they gave me a free panda lemonade. And that was the end of that one. But I just...
What, did your pal, did he spot you? I mean, because I guess you did kind of disappear.
I think he heard it before it happened. So I disappear for a second. He hears a loud bang.
Oh.
It's like, what's happened? Walks over and I'm just lying. I actually think the farm foods driver might have caught me when I fainted. Wow. I remember there being a part where I was like, kind of, the legs were going out and there was people around. I think maybe this is why my memory's not so good because I headbutted the van so hard.
Because you were a wee guy as well. They're maybe just like, oh, this guy just loves fish fingers, but he has to wait. We haven't even unpacked the van. What
was I doing? Who runs as fast as they can without looking in front of them?
the fact that it's a farm foods van makes it even funnier.
I don't know what that element is, but yeah.
When you laughed, was that just kind of delirium and shock before you fainted, or did you try and laugh to kind of style it out?
I think I was trying to laugh it off. I've got that thing where if something embarrassing happens, you need to laugh about it immediately.
Right.
And I was like hysterically laughing. Which I think if you're hysterically laughing as you faint, it looks a bit psychotic.
I've had intrusive thoughts sometimes about like if a gig was going really bad or if I was in a really terrible situation that you could kind of pretend to faint. So then people are like, oh no, now we have to be concerned for his, like forget what awful thing he was just talking about. And I've sometimes thought, what would you do? Like I could pretend to faint and then I'd maybe have to like wet myself as well to really sell it. Yeah,
I think you should do it so that you've got something to tell on the podcast. And then we can all find out if that works. It's the porcupine strategy. What is it that does it? It plays dead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Possum as well. Yeah. Play possum. Are you still friends with the guy that you were trying to run from?
And he actually...
Does he bring it up?
I don't think he would... Like, I've not spoke to him about this.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember about that weekend is he told me his gran had a glass eye. And she didn't, and I spent the entire weekend trying to work out which one was the glass eye, and I was so impressed by the glass eye technology. I was like, I'm totally convinced by this glass eye.
She must have loved that, having this young guy just constantly gazing in her eyes,
making perfect eye contact at all times, being really, this guy's really really loving my stories. He's a great listener.
Was there any? I mean, did you have a lump, physical injuries?
Well, the other thing I remember about it is my shin, because I think my shin was the first part to make contact with the bumper.
The bottom.
I had a big dent in the shin, and that's my kind of my only real memory of their town.
It's a good. You could picture that in a kind of. In like a kind of Will Ferrell comedy or something as well.
Yeah, like proper.
One person's
slapstick.
done it, and then he's tried it, and wow.
Although it's like. It's less funny when a child gets hurt, isn't it? If an adult did it, maybe. Yeah.
I love, as you say, for everyone else in the street that day that didn't realise you were even trying to run along beside the bus, you just took off all of a sudden.
Took off straight in, and it was 50 feet of me getting to speed before I hit the bus.
The only thing that would have been even funnier would have been if like the farm truck's food was open and you just ran straight into it.
Yeah, I was scared because I told that, I told, when I remembered this, I told it to my partner. And I think that was what she thought at first, run into the back of it. So I tried to make it clear that there was a bang. There was really, but I mean, I was definitely concussed.
I bet. I'm picturing like a kind of wee indentation, like you've made a wee Conor-shaped human-sized thing in the back of the truck.
I wonder if I did kind of, damage the truck in any way.
Yeah, if you were any older, you probably would have been like criminal damages territory.
Farm Foods are going to hear this and come after me for the money.
I don't know. I got a good plug here. I mean...
Totally.
They were nice staff. You've sang their praises.
I got a free lemonade. If anyone's looking for a free lemonade, all you need to do is run as fast as you can into the back of the van and someone will take pity on you. Yeah.
Were you, I mean, this is adjacent to the podcast topics, but were you, and there's a reason I'm bringing this up, accident prone?
Yeah.
Because I know you're into skateboarding and so that lends itself to injury, but I just know some people either seem to skate through life, no pun intended, injury-free, or it's the other extreme, it's all the time.
No, I had a lot of accidents. I had a lot of head injuries.
Right, okay.
Specifically. And I also found this out recently. My mum said this is 6 months ago. We're having dinner and she just hits out with, you've probably got brain damage. And I was like, what like, what do you mean? And when I was 3, I had a thing called encephalitis, which makes your brain swell up.
Yeah.
Right? And it gives you brain damage. But apparently when you're that young, it's hard to assess the level of damage.
Can I just say, I like the fact that she just said that over dinner one night as if she was watching you, like trying to eat your food with a spoon or something.
Yeah.
I think you've probably got brain damage.
I just was like, I feel like this is information you should have given me already. But she said before it, I was speaking lots and then it happened, I lost loads of words and my personality changed and I went mental. Jeez, I used to be quite placid and like quite a kind of lazy child, and then after it I was mad. After that,
you were just running at the backs of vehicles.
Well, I mean, who knows? I could have been a great academic or something.
Wow!
If it wasn't for the brain damage.
It's quite serious.
Serious, but it's funny because I'm fine.
You're fine with it. You've accepted the brain damage.
I think whatever happened, I like it.
Yeah, it's made you who you are.
You said I was a social butterfly, but maybe that's brain damage. Maybe you need to be...
First thing I'm going to do after this is just knock my head off a building and then try and get encephalitis.
I've got a wee scar there from
I can see that, actually.
I ran into a door handle for that one.
You just ran into another thing.
You got a real... I moved around at high speeds at all times. Yeah, at a really high average speeds. But
it's also a good indication of if people were still wondering about how tall you are, that you ran into that door handle.
Yeah,
that was just last year.
Here's a good indication of my size. Right. I was in China last year, and I got a massage.
Yeah, but
the woman giving the massage couldn't speak English.
Okay.
So we were communicating through a little robot translator thing.
Oh, yes.
One of the most interesting situations I've ever been in. Even trying to negotiate the massage at first was a nightmare. And at one point during the massage, she started laughing hysterically. And my friend was getting a massage in the same place. So her sister was there. So they were both talking. They were laughing together. And she said something into the translator. And I swear to God, she played a little robot voice and it said, "You're so skinny like you're made of bones." Like, what? You're so skinny like you're made of bones.
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
I think she was trying to say it was nice because she then called her sister fat.
Oh, I see.
I think in China the culture around body positivity is maybe not as but yeah, I never forget it. You're so skinny like you're made of bones.
Wow. Brittle.
Yeah. Did you say brittle?
Well, just no. With all the injuries, just that's the reason I bring it up as well. Is just I was very accident prone.
Yep.
And I've had a number of injuries from maybe between the ages of, I don't know, maybe from primary 6 up until kind of 5th, 6th year. I had a plethora of stuff that happened. It was talked of often. Like I genuinely feel lucky to be alive at times, and I think. The first kind of stuff that happened to me when I was younger was just even like my brother. This sounds like as if you had a terrible childhood, but when we were young and there was nothing really to do, we both had hammers from the garage and we were just hitting rocks.
Yep.
Classic. And I liked the look of his rock, and I went to get it and he just hammered my hand. He was already on the way down, so it broke my hand. He was to blame for the first couple, really. When I was younger than that, actually, he was running with me as a baby. My mum was letting him carry me, but he tripped and he fell. So I got my first stitches in the back of my head when I was just a toddler. When I was in primary 7, this is freaky. I had my eyelid slit open.
Oh my God.
You know, again, just when you're wee guys, it seemed like a cool thing to do, which was like we were trying to jump up to see who could touch the roof of the hall in the primary school, and Jason, I'll just call him Jason, he was doing it, but as he swung his arms out to like stretch up to hit the roof, his pinky went under my eyelid and his nail slit it open, and it was terrifying. It was absolutely horrendous. They had to call an ambulance to the primary school. I had to have like a patch on both eyes because when I was moving the other one was getting like more injured, irritating it.
Patch on both eyes.
Yep, and I was just in blank. You know, it was the most terrifying thing that had ever happened to me, and they didn't know if my cornea had torn as well or been scraped, but it was just the eyelids. Then they had to put stitches in my eyelid, and they had to numb my eyeball, which was just horrendous.
If your friend Jason was on the podcast, his would be slitting my pal's
eyelid open. It was.
I bet he felt really bad about that.
Such a freak injury, man. Yeah. A couple of years after that, I was having a snowball fight, and round at my pal's house, I thought it would be a good vantage point would be to climb on top of the shed roof. And the minute I went up on it, in fact, I actually went, "Can I go on the roof?" And someone went, "Yeah," and then I just fell right through the roof. And that might not have been as bad, but there was a lawnmower, and then just randomly, because you keep things in a shed, I guess, a pane of glass there. So when I fell, I landed on the lawnmower and smashed the glass with my head. So I broke my arm and I cut my head in 3 places, and needed quite severe kind of work then. Stitches on my head, cast on the arm. What would have been the next one? I was helping on the campsite up in Gairloch, and we would go up to summer there where my family's from. I was shoveling stones off the back of the trailers they were putting down, laying a bit of new road, and I walked to the back of the trailer, tripped off the back of the trailer and spun kind of in the air as I was falling and hit the other side of my head off the tow bar, and it split my head right open, so I needed 7 stitches on the other side. The list, it really goes on and on.
They've done good work because I can't actually see.
Yeah, that was kind of built into the eyebrow. And bizarrely on the eyelid front, there's one eyelash that doesn't grow back.
Really?
So if you look really closely, this isn't like the glass eye
will
thing,
look,
you know. Yeah. All this to say, I've had a lot of weird stuff. I actually had an operation on 4 of my toes as well.
From injuries or just got weird?
It wasn't technically an injury. It was like a claw hammer toe thing. I think we spoke about it with Susan Riddle when she was talking about toes. But anyway,
on the subject of doing weird stuff to like wee brothers.
Oh God! Wait, is this okay to tell? Patreon only content here.
No, we had I used to hang out at a pal Fraser's house when I was young, and he lived on a farm.
Right.
And farm boys are all mental.
Yeah.
And we invented a game where genuinely what we did is we got darts and we threw them into the roof.
Yeah.
And then we would stand under the dart and poke it with a pool cue until the dart fell and jump out the way of the dart. I don't know whose idea it was initially, and we were doing that, and his wee brother wanted to join in the game.
Oh my!
So we threw the darts into the roof, and we poked the dart, and it came down and went straight into his shoulder.
Oh,
yeah. And I remember his mum battering him. Yeah,
of course. I mean,
I got away with it because mums can't batter another person's child.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
So before we move on, and we will get back to the podcast format, but when you mentioned mums and injuries, it reminded me, of one of the other kind of bad accidents I had, which sounds really stupid again, but just kids. We were on a swing that was just a basic swing, like the 2 A-frames and a bar connecting the top, if you can picture that, and we were standing on it, so standing on the swing and holding on to the chains, and we weren't actually swinging on it. We were it was quite a rickety swing. So like 3 other people were standing around the frame just shaking it. And you had to see if you could hold on to the swing, And when I was standing on it and they started shaking it, the pole at the top actually came out and the top pole swung down, this big metal pole, and went right into the top of my head. And the reason I bring that one up is because I was rushed down, not even to the hospital, but to the local little GP surgery just because it was closer and they didn't know what to do. And it's a funnier story from my mum's point of view now. She was at the doctor's that day waiting for an appointment, and she said she was sitting with a pal and she just heard this kid screaming, and she went, "Oh, that poor wee boy, I hope he's okay." And then I came around the corner with blood all down my face, and she was like, "Christopher!" That's terrifying. Brilliant. Anyway, we've both lived to tell the tales of our injuries.
Yeah, a lot of head injuries sitting on this couch.
And look at that, and we've both made a career in the arts.
Yeah, maybe that's the common denominator.
Yeah. We're all not quite right, and you do have to be a bit mental to work in. Well,
I think to do stand up, you need to be quite mental.
Yeah. Speaking of careers, let's segue beautifully into our next story. Something that might have happened in any sort of workplace before your creative arts work. Maybe you were somewhere else, but has there been something that's happened and haunted you in your career at some point?
I think this was the one I found hardest to do because I've had a lot of things happen that were very regrettable and stressful, but for the most part they've turned out okay.
Yeah.
So like one of the more recent films I made on my own was a film where I got my penis out in front of all of my friends and family, which regrettable, just right away. That's just a thing.
What was that called?
It's called Penises Are Funny Things.
There you go.
It's on Channel 4's YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it. But that's something that once you've done, you can't really take back.
Yeah.
But the most regrettable part of it is that I initially didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even an idea. The way it came about is, so Channel 4, they got in touch with me and said, we've got a new strand for self-shooting filmmakers and we'd like you to make one.
We'd like to see your
Which
strand.
that doesn't, happen a lot, that they get in touch with you. So I was like, this is a good opportunity. But I didn't have any ideas.
Yeah.
And I missed the deadline.
Okay.
So someone from Channel 4 got in touch and said, you've missed the deadline. We were really looking for you to pitch something. Do you have any ideas? So I went home and I basically, because it's Channel 4, made a little video in my flat just so they would remember me.
Yeah.
Saying, if you give me, the film, I'll get my dick out. Not thinking that they would want that at all. The idea was really flimsy. It was like, I don't want to get my dick out, but if you give me the money, I will.
Wow. And for anyone listening that's always curious about how you get ahead in television, how you get something commissioned,
Yeah.
These are the magic tricks.
Yeah. You just got to go big, or small in my case. So I just made this little video, like, trying to showcase the style of film that I make, but just using my dick as the kind of the memorable thing. I swear to God, I sent it in. I got an email back 5 minutes later saying, how quickly could you make this film? And I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to make that film. That's insane. I'm not going to show you my dick, you freaks.
Oh my God.
So
your pal's gran must be all over this film. Oh, that's the wee boy with the lovely eyes that kept looking at me.
So then I had to make the film.
Wow.
Because it was just too good an opportunity. And then honestly, it became more interesting because then it became like, why did I want to get my dick out? So
yeah.
Was
it kind of like just like getting people to be more accepting?
That's
like
kind of the idea.
Bodies type of thing, but look, it's...
Yeah, that all came later. Basically, it was like, why are we ashamed of this?
Right.
Why don't I want to make this film? So I end up in the situation where I have to end this film. And to do that, I have to get my penis out. So I get all of my friends and family into a room.
Oh, the family.
There was genuinely 40 of them there.
Wow.
And there was like a girl I was like seeing at the time, and she brought all her friends. It was
She's like, come and see what I'm telling you about.
Honestly, I'd met her like a month ago, and she was like, can I come? I was like, yeah, I guess. So she's there, her pals are there, my brothers are there. All of my pals from like school, everything are there.
I bet they were. Have you heard what Conor's going to do?
See if you want to get a good attendance to a party, promise you're going to show everyone your dick, and they all turn up. Stuart McPherson was there. He was watching the World Cup on his phone the entire time.
Wow.
Don't even think he's seen my dick. So got them all in a room, right? And it was quite a cold room. It was November. It was upstairs in Sloan's.
Getting the excuses ready.
And I remember thinking, oh no, that's not good. And I was quite nervous already. And then everyone started arriving. And I started to fucking freak out.
Yeah. And what were you going to have to be doing? Was it literally just a kind of reveal?
I'd set up a life drawing. So I was going to just get naked and then they were just going to draw me. And I just felt, I was so scared. And have you ever not, if you're a guy watching this, you might know what happens to your penis when you get scared, right? It's just fucking, it disappeared, right?
Well, listen, I'm scared all the time. I hardly see the guy. I live in constant fear.
Oh man, I go into so I was like, I can't do this. And the worst, that made it way worse. So I go into the toilet with my friend who was shooting it, and he's like a big handsome guy, and I was like, Jack, we've got a situation, right? And he was like, show me. So I showed him it, and he was like, and he goes,
show me it.
And he was like,
that's a good friend though. It was just like, show me it. Let's see what we're working with. I could be a fluffer.
I'm pretty sure he went, you can't show anyone that. And I was like, right, that's not made me feel any better. So I was under the hairdryer trying to warm this thing up, slapping it. Just like, please. Please. And I think that was where the regret came, there was no dignity in that situation.
Please.
Just like me and Jack trying to warm my dick up.
He was still helping.
He's a big handsome guy, as I said. I needed someone to look at. And I was like, what? It's totally a mess of my own making. There's no. And then it came out somewhat, and I had to just go through with it. And I'm pretty sure it was kind of fine by the end. I think I used shots from slightly later in the reveal when I'd relaxed a little bit.
He was like, look, I'm okay here. You felt safe.
Yeah, but
he came out of his shell.
Yeah, just real.
That is,
real mess.
I'm in terms of the posing for the actual life drawing as well. Like I'm assuming you were in maybe a kind of classic, maybe legs crossed thing. Like you weren't like spread eagling yourself.
No, I did like the first one. I just stood there, had the robe on,
right?
Just dropped the robe, and we were just standing.
That's a lot of confidence to do that.
The first 40 seconds, just the scariest 40 seconds of my life. Just everyone looking at me.
Were your friends and family like? Were they allowed to react? Were they like being nice? Were some of your mates shouting out?
Because what do you say? I'm pretty sure there was like a very almost imperceptible kind of thing. Just like a kind of like like acknowledging that it's happened, and then just the scratching of pencils.
Oh,
it's just so quiet.
Oh, so they were all drawing you, yeah.
And at one point, my friend James said, I didn't know you had your appendix out. And that got no laugh either, it was just
What a wild thing to do, man.
So 40 seconds of terror, and then...
Did you relax into it? Because then obviously people do it quite often, like pose for life drawing, and they find it quite liberating.
Well, it just disappears. Once you've done it, you're out. Scary. And then you realise that no one cares. They're like, oh... Because I think they were scared too, because they're like, oh, this is a weird thing.
Yeah.
As soon as they seen it, and they were like, oh, it looks like what I kind of thought it would look like. It just looks like a penis. They don't care, and then it just goes away, and then you're like, oh, it's fine. So it turned out fine in the end. I think what I really regret is the choice of the freezing cold room. Yeah. That's, I think, what sparked the fear.
Yeah.
But
were people's drawings complimentary? Did you get to see people's drawings of your penis?
There was a mix. My brother did quite a good one, which is weird. And then I had a friend there as an illustrator. He did a couple of good ones.
Right.
I have one friend I think this is really weird. He found it so uncomfortable that he drew a leaf over it.
Wow.
I think he's got his own issues. He needs to work it. Yeah. He needs to sort that out, confront it. But
what a wild thing to do. Do you think since having done that, you've been now just more comfortable in general with nakedness?
I think with nakedness for sure, but it also just kind of teaches you that if you're scared of something, like it changed my perception of fear, right? Because if you're really scared of something, but you just kind of put yourself in the position, fear eventually just goes away. You're only so long your body can kind of freak out about something. So I'm not like a stand-up or whatever, but I can imagine it's true of when you first start out, it is, really terrifying. But there's only so much long your body can sustain that, and eventually you're just going to become a bit more comfortable.
There's that old quote as well, isn't there? It's one of my favourite ones that I try and remind myself, but I'm terrible about living by it, which is everything good lies on the other side of fear.
Yep.
So you've got to get over that bit, and then it's magical.
Totally.
But that is a big undertaking, friends and family and naked. That's pretty cool.
I'm glad I did it. It's just... Also, the thing I really love about it is that because I was doing something so mad, they let me make a film kind of like the way I would want to.
Yeah, that's so rare.
That never happens. So when I watch it back, I like it.
Aye.
And I think it's a good example of the kind of thing I want to make in the future. So it was definitely a good career move in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, entirely unintentional at the start. And then when it was happening, I was like, what the fuck have I done?
Listen, that is wild, but truly admirable, and definitely a thing that I would imagine that you're not going to forget that you've done that. And either of your friends or family. Maybe
you should just do some naked stand up or something. I don't know.
God.
Yeah,
that would be the worst thing for everyone involved. Yeah. Really troubling for a lot of people.
But the thing is, I would buy a ticket if I knew it was happening.
I'd only sell one.
Yeah.
Well, this is just for Conor.
Front row, yeah.
Food for thought, certainly. Let's move on from, although I feel like it's almost linked. If we were trying to look for weak links between each individual section here, that you had this wonderful period of showing your penis for life drawings in front of your friends and family, and did you have a partner at the time? Because I feel like it would almost tie in with then moving on to maybe a relationship thing that's kind of haunted you.
I didn't. Well, I was seeing someone at the time. I didn't have a partner, but it was quite a new one.
Oh, wait, that's
interesting. Yeah, and she did bring a couple of friends with her, and that I hadn't met the friends yet.
Right, you said, yeah.
So there's actually a shot of me in the film meeting them for the first time, the pals, and that was weird. But again, I think it's quite a good way to meet someone because it's so mad.
Just penis out, yeah.
That they're, I don't know. I remember it as well because just around when it got commissioned, like I'd been on a couple of dates with people and they'd been like, "What are you up to?" And oh, you're a filmmaker. That's interesting. What do you do? And then I'd tell people about it, and they were always interested.
I bet.
And here's actually a good point. So my actual girlfriend, who I've been with for 3 years, she saw the film before she met me, and it's actually how we met.
No.
So you might know Paul Dock, the artist. Paul Dock made some art that was in the film, and he shared the film and said, "Look, I made this for Conor's film." She followed Paul Dock and found my Instagram and was like, "Oh, I fancy that guy."
Isn't that mad?
And then she sent me a message, and her mum had seen the film before.
Wow.
I'd met her as well.
So that's So she'd seen you naked before she'd seen you naked, type of thing.
So again, if you're single,
it's quite good, and it eliminates any of the preconceptions and fears of that part of the relationship anyway.
Yeah, I also think it's like a good way of, if you watch that film, it's quite a good sense of who I am, and I imagine it would turn a lot of people off. However, if you watched that and thought, I kind of like that guy, then it would be, you know, what you see is what you get.
In my head, I'm merging your first 2 stories together, just a naked Conor running into the back of something. Yeah. That's what I want to see now.
Yeah.
Just the best of everything.
The best of everything. So it worked. There was a happy ending. Yeah. No regrets, actually.
No regrets at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I've got plenty of dating stories that were less successful.
Let's have one of them.
I kind of hesitated telling this one because I feel bad because the girl's really nice, right?
Okay.
And I've only got nice thoughts of her.
Yeah.
However, I was seeing this girl, and I kind of felt like it was coming to an end, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think she felt the same way. I think she was kind of more in it than I was.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was going to happen soon. And then, I don't know if you remember, but there was a pandemic.
I do recall.
So we went into lockdown, and this girl wasn't from Scotland. So she was living in a student accommodation.
Right.
It was shared. And this is back when we were really scared of COVID. And I didn't think the right thing for me to do was just to, break up with her and leave her in a student accommodation.
Yeah, very noble.
So I went out to my parents' house in the countryside to isolate there, and I brought her with me.
Beautiful.
I felt really bad for her, actually, because she didn't drink and she was quite quiet and quite studious.
Right.
First day of lockdown, we built a bar out of pallets, and it was just a party from then. It was just absolute chaos. I don't think she chimed well in that within the environment, but it was definitely much nicer than staying in town with no garden. So she was there. It was very awkward, kind of couple of months of her living with my family and me.
Yeah.
Maybe not want the relationship to continue, but not knowing what, I obviously just couldn't leave her.
Yeah.
So we were kind of stuck in this environment. We're not at the regret yet. The regret is coming.
Oh no.
So eventually we find her a flight home. And to do that, she has to get a train from Central to Heathrow.
Right.
And what we decided is we go back to my flat in town and we spend 5 days together.
Okay.
And then she get the train. We spend a few days together and I work up the courage and we have the conversation and I end it, right? It's very sad and she's very upset.
Yeah.
But that's the right thing to do. We end the thing. She's very sad. We get in my car. We drive to the train station.
Yeah.
We go into Central. Kind of thing pops on the board in red. Train's cancelled and she has to stay with me for 5 more days.
Oh.
Yeah. So just literally like the whole thing, space of half an hour, break up, crying, get to the train station, train cancelled.
Oh.
We're staying 5 more days.
That is, I really feel that one.
Pretty bad, isn't it?
Because I bet it was the way it almost seemed perfect time. It was hard, but it was the right order of things.
Yeah. And I really thought I'd done the right thing as well. I was like, the right thing is, to keep this going for a bit and make sure she's going to get back safe, all these things.
Oh. And how was the 5 days after? I mean, was it any sense of, now she's trying to rekindle it, or was it really cold?
I ended up enjoying it. So when it first came up cancelled, I started laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is just so funny.
And then fainted again.
Yeah. It's my move. She wasn't laughing. She was crying. She was very sad. I was laughing. It was just awful,
That is bad.
I mean, so we get back in my car and it's like silent.
Yeah.
And I think I said to her, look, we're just going to have to forget that happened and we're going to have to go back out for 5 days because I've got a very small flat. Yeah. I've only got 1 bed. That's where we're going to be for 5 days and we're not really allowed outside.
That's good.
So we went back and I actually enjoyed the 5 days because I felt like this thing was hanging over me that I had to do, but I'd done it. So we ended up being able to enjoy our company and, we watched movies and did jigsaw puzzles for 5 days. But
because it kind of sounds like like a kind of almost Guantanamo Bay thing where it's like someone's in an imprisonment, but then you've freed them, but then you've actually you put them back, and it's almost like some sort of psychological warfare. But I'm glad that wasn't the case, that it was actually quite a pleasant way to then.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I feel, and I still think about it, the way it still makes me
see that come up.
Like shiver. It's just, and also because when it first was cancelled, we didn't know when the next one was going to be. It was COVID time. There wasn't a lot of trains and there wasn't a lot of flights. So I was like, oh, this could be a while.
I think, as you say, though, it's quite nice, really, that you've done the breakup.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that's happened to many people. You've broken up, and then it's kind of like, well, now let's properly tailor it off in a nice way.
Yeah. Maybe that's how they should always do it. Maybe you should break up, and then you should have to spend a mandatory 5 days to decide whether or not you thought it was a good idea.
Do you know, I my pal, in fact, he wouldn't mind me saying, but Kevin from How Do I Get Up There, he broke up with his girlfriend at the time when they were on holiday. And they were like 2 days into a week holiday. And he was like, I just had to say, and then we just had to do the rest of the holiday.
That's
she was
insane.
Like, not buying a new flight. But he did say it was actually pretty awkward. I mean,
yeah, that is awkward. Because that seems like there's no external factor that's causing the awkwardness.
That was wild to do that.
That's just a crazy move.
Shame on you, Kevin.
Yeah. This is now a podcast about how he should regret that.
But these are all kind of good. All these stories, whilst again, been moments that will definitely stay in your mind. They've all got a positive tilt.
They always work out. That's my I'm just famously very jammy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. Like one time it's just a quick one. I was on a date with someone, and I genuinely very nearly ruined their life. Right. And it could have went so badly. I was in Germany. I met with this girl after I was working there, and I met with this girl, and we just have a few pints. And the bar we're in closes, but there's another bar open until 3 a.m.
Perfect.
And she goes, 15-minute walk that way, let's go to this other bar. And I was like, great, yeah. So we started walking, but she's got a bike, and she's wheeling the bike. And I was like, why don't I just give you a backie? She wasn't aware of what a backie was, actually. I had to explain.
She's like, you filthy so-and-so, get away.
I had to explain what a backie was, and then she was like, no, I'm not going to get a back of a bike. And I was like, well, why don't you cycle and I'll jump on the back? Because it was a wee bit you could sit. And she's like, no. And I was like, honestly, we're not walking 15 minutes. You've got a bike. You jump on, you won't even know I'm there. Right?
Another testament to how small Conor is, if anyone's still curious.
I got in the basket. So we get on the bike, and we're cycling, and I'm like, this is brilliant. You know what? I was just having the time of my life. This girl was very beautiful. I'm flying about Germany on this bike. I thought, it's all worked out for me here. Then the police pull out. Oh no. Blue lights pull us over, and we get off the bike, and I'm feeling zero anxiety. One, because I don't live there. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Also, we're on a bike.
Yeah. What are you doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong? She looks fucking terrified. And I'm like, what's happening? They're all talking in German. She goes, I'm going to get breathalyzed. And if I fail the breathalyzer, I lose my driving license forever.
What, her actual driving license?
Actual driving license for cars.
Because she's
driving a bike drunk. Oh. And she needed the car for work. So she fucking white as a sheet. I'm like, what have I done? She did not want to do this bike thing.
That's why she was so
made her do the bike thing.
Oh, wow.
Terrifying. And we're like 4 pints deep at this point. Yeah. So she's not, does the breathalyzer, passes it. No idea how. It doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
I cheered. I was like, hey! The police officers look fucking raging. And then we went to the bar. We ended up having a really nice date.
No way.
But, it shouldn't have worked out like that, I easily could have ruined my life.
Maybe the alcohol hadn't kind of passed through the system.
Maybe we slammed them too fast.
Maybe she was doing like what creepy guys might have been doing to like girls. She's like, I'm actually drinking alcohol free. I'm trying to get this guy drunk. Take advantage of him.
Yeah, it worked.
I've seen a documentary and I really want to see this penis.
Yeah. And then even just another thing about things working out for me. Fly home, turn my phone on after being on the plane, and I got a text from someone that said, that's us just arriving at the venue. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is that? It turns out I'd booked a job on that day that I'd totally forgotten about.
Oh dear.
Flew into Edinburgh Airport. The job was in Edinburgh. Just got a taxi there. I was 15 minutes early.
That is lucky.
That is mad, isn't it?
You are jammy.
just the jammiest guy, just falling through life and always landing on my feet. Did not deserve either of those things to work out in my favour.
You're a cat, Bizarrely, again, just adjacent, but my brother and his pal were pulled over drink driving on bicycles once, but he was on my little sister's Barbie bicycle bike that had stabilizers, like an old Barbie, so it was more...
That's pretty shameful.
It was more kind of drunk and disorderly.
Yeah. Were charges pressed?
No, but they were. I think the police officer actually found it quite amusing then when they were like, "Have you got your license?" And they kind of made a bit of a fun and joke of it, and then made him carry it home, because it was a tiny little child's bike. But anyway, mate, thank you for sharing all of these stories. These have been great and very revealing. The reason I was anxious because I was going to say before I listened to an episode with CMB.
Oh,
and you said you were going to say something.
You told a story about chickens, and it was so good that it made me...
The fart.
Yeah. Oh, it's just such a good story. So if anyone has heard this one and not went back to that one yet.
Okay.
The CMB episode and the chicken fart story is incredible. It's got... The reason it's good is it's got everything. It's got, criminal damages, potentially. It's got farts, which are always funny.
Do you know what? And I've not said this yet. One of the managers, it wasn't the guy I actually went to on the day, but one of the managers that worked there, I'm still kind of pally. We're kind of mutual, like Facebook friends type of thing. Yeah. And about a week after that podcast had come out, I got a message that just went, "I knew it." But I do think about that a lot, just because of the amount of money that was wasted.
It's brilliant. It's just such a great story.
Listen, thank you so much. What have you got coming up? Are you working on anything just now? Any other, human anatomy pieces or other?
I don't know when this comes out, but I've got a film coming out on the 27th that I made about financial domination for Channel 4. It's a kind of dominatrix thing.
Nice.
It wasn't initially one of mine that I pitched, but they got in touch with me about it. Good fun.
Aye.
A very interesting...
Another Channel 4 one?
Channel 4 one's, but it's just like a 20-minute sort of thing for
What's
YouTube.
What's that called?
It's called Overnight with a Findom.
Nice.
It's one of the more challenging ones I've ever shot. Yeah.
Well, listen, check out Conor's previous work as well. So you get documentaries that are still up as well, don't you? That people can tune into. I'm sure they can. Yeah, there'll be people curious about the Channel 4 YouTube. The Flat Earthers, the Eurovision thing you did.
How Not to Win Eurovision
really
is on iPlayer.
Laugh.
How Not to Win Eurovision and Penises Are Funny Things, I think, are the only accessible ones.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. Thank you to everyone again for watching, if you've watched, listening mostly as well. Big thanks as always to the Stand Comedy Club, Sean Stables, Chris Thorburn, the team here behind Stop Watering Dead Flowers. Again, I always want to mention, if you are a fan of the show and want to support it, you can sign up to be a Patreon member where you'll get 2 episodes a week instead of 1, and there are extended length bonus episodes as well. Please do consider it. It's less than a price of coffee a month, £3 a month. You can sign up and it really makes a big difference. But if not, thanks for tuning in anyway. Please like, share, subscribe, all the things you're supposed to do with the podcast. If you want to review it on Spotify or somewhere, that really helps as well. Well, if it's like 5 stars. If it's 1, that's really not helpful. So just don't do that. Thanks for listening again. I've been Chris Forbes. See you next time.